Why do erection problems and sexual performance anxiety actually happen? That is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in this brand new video. This is the top 6 reasons why erection problems happen so that we can get to the bottom of what's going on for us individually and start to feel normal again so that we can have the type of incredible sex, connection and bond with our partner that we know is possible, but we must get to the bottom of what's going on to be able to get to that point. First up, if you find this video helpful, in the bottom right hand corner you will see a button that says subscribe. Click on that button so that you can get the latest videos and brand new tools as I share them. So first up, I'm going to share in this video the top 3 reasons for erection problems and performance anxiety, and I just want you to see if you find this relatable, if it makes sense to you as we're going through it. If it does, then I'm going to explain below how you can then get access to watch the full top 6. But let's start with these top 3, and I just want you to see as we go along if they make sense to you. So, number 1, past sexual experiences. Past sexual experiences. I'm going to explain each one in more detail. So this could be things like when we lose our virginity, that it didn't go to plan, we weren't able to get hard or maintain an erection in the moment. That's one example of this category, past sexual experiences. Another may be that we were forced or felt a sense of pressure to do something sexually in the past. Another example in this category may be something that feels traumatic around sex. So whether that's abuse at a younger age, whether it was consensual, non-consensual, these types of things also go in there. Now, not only this, but what else goes into this category that we often don't think is anything to do with erection problems or performance anxiety? From the conversations that I've had with hundreds of guys around the world now on this topic, these are the 6 that I come back to every single time. So in this category, what we often don't think about is also if we were caught, or this feeling of being exposed. So at a young age, many guys that I've spoken to were either caught masturbating or they were exploring with friends and they were caught doing that. There was this feeling of being exposed and there was intense shame or guilt in those moments. Perhaps they were found naked or whatever it may be. Now, obviously at a young age, we don't understand what sex is at that age. So it's natural what we're doing or we're just exploring, but it still goes into this area. So that is number 1. Number 1 is past sexual experiences. Okay, number 2. And by the way, the reason why it's critical to understand the top 6 is that then we can get to the bottom of what's going on for us individually. That's how we get this sorted. Number 2. This will not come as a surprise. Porn and masturbation in excess. Now, I'm going to define what I mean by in excess because there can be questions around this. But number 2 is porn and masturbation in excess. This usually comes up with younger guys that I speak with. Ultimately, in excess doesn't necessarily mean a set amount of times. If I had to give how many times are we doing it, it seems to be from the conversations that I'm having between 2 to 4 times a day, jerking off with porn, but it may not necessarily be that. The overriding factor is this intense desire, this intense need or feeling that we must watch porn that's gone on for quite a few years in our life, or that we have been kind of sneaking off to be able to go and watch porn, or that at times we've preferred to go to porn instead of intimacy with actual real people. That's one way to look at it. Another way is that the type of porn that we've watched over time has become more extreme. So that sums up category number 2. Reason number 2 for erection challenges, performance anxiety is porn and masturbation in excess. Excess can mean a different thing to us individually, but if we know we've had quite an intense relationship with porn or masturbation, we just know. So this is number 2. And then number 3. This one, by the way, is a sneaky one. It's something that we do not really expect. We think it's got nothing to do with performance anxiety or erection challenges, but this comes up every time without fail with guys that I am working with to get this sorted. So number 3 is pressure to perform, but outside of sex. Pressure to perform, but outside of sex. So let me give you some examples, and these usually relate to when we're at a younger age. There's the obvious of if we're on a sports team or academics, that there is this intense pressure, usually from parents or our caregivers, to perform at sometimes unnatural levels. But there is this expectation of being the best, being right at the top every single time without fail. We're not allowed to mess up. We're not allowed to make any mistakes. And there's intense consequences if we do. So sports academics, as one example, being a role model, especially if we had siblings, you must be like this for your younger children, younger brothers or sisters. You must do this, you must do that. This constant being held to a high standard, this high standard of pressure, or being compared to other kids. Why can't you be more like them? Why don't you do it like them? They do it well, why can't you? This type of intense comparison. Ultimately, this feeling of we must be better, we must think better, or we must look better, or just be better as a person. This feeds into it as well. And then the final thing that also comes up sometimes is where parents have had a dysfunctional relationship. So let's say there's been a lot of arguments or a lot of fighting in the house, and they've expected, as a child, they expected us to be able to handle what was going on, and sometimes to even be the person that had to listen to the sobbing parent or the crying parent, or the person that, I can't believe they did this to me. Don't ever be like this with a man, or don't ever be like this with a woman. These intense different views were pushed onto us, and there was this pressure to perform as a child outside of sex, this pressure that we must be able to handle all of this intense emotion, or that we must be better than who we currently are, or that what we're currently doing, if there's any mistake, it's not good enough. So we're halfway through. If any of these three have resonated with you so far or made sense, then I'd like you to head now to the comments below, click on the link so that you go straight to the page to get the full top six. Why it's important, as I said, is that we must understand which one or combination of these six is it for us, so that we can get to the bottom of performance anxiety, get to the bottom of erection problems, and feel normal again. This is how we do it. So head below into the comments, click on the link that will take you straight to the page where you get access to the video that has the full top six, and I'll see you right there.